Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Vulcan Report. This end of day report is for trading on Monday, February the 12th, 2018. Quickly looking at a weekly chart of SVXY. As you can see, last week's price destruction, the market was unable to recover back up to the momentum line. And so far, to start the week off, the market is trying to recover. Looks like we should be able to see just how far the market will recover. It's a possibility we could get at least a 50% retracement, which would put it around the $50, $51 mark, 50-ish, something around there. So this will be interesting to see how much get up and go the market can get up and go with. But right now, I like the chances and the prospects of this. It should also be noted that everyone flocked over from XIV over to SVXY. So since the XIV is no longer, the SVXY is picking up the slack. And I anticipate that there will be some really good price action to the upside shortly in the SVXY. Looking at some of the other interesting pairs, let's look at JNUG. Been a long time since we pulled up a chart of the JNUG. As you can see here, JNUG is getting closer to trying to get up above this momentum line here. It needs to close above $15 this week. If it can do that, then the $16.43 trend line resistance, and then the secondary resistance at $22.34 will be in play. Let's see how much it can do. Last time you saw it got up above the initial resistance line. Couldn't quite make it to the orange resistance, which is the trend line, the longer term trend line resistance. And it's also at the bottom of the Kumo cloud. Depending on how the market reacts between now and May, could determine where this could go. So we'll be watching this along with the GDXJ, which we'll pull up next, and see just how deep into the cloud the market can go. The good news is if it can do it between now and May, $50 could be in play in the JNUG. Excuse me. Let's look at the GDXJ real quick. All right, GDXJ. All right, so far we are finding ourselves in an inside narrow range week. But if the market can close above $32.51 this week, then we open up the door to a possible retracement back up to the $33.78 resistance line here, which is the bottom of the Kumo cloud. So this will be an interesting one to watch. See if we can get up enough momentum to do that, or is it going to roll over and we see steeper declines? The jury is still out. We shall see. Taking a look at the Dow futures now. As you can see, the market did close well off of the lows last week, but still far below the momentum line this week. Got a little green shoot that is developing here. The Dow would need to close above 24,997 this week, and it can regain some of that momentum. And this will be an interesting one to watch, folks. So let's see. Will we have that shift, or will there be further declines to get closer to the trend line at 22,667? Let's see. Taking a look at the NASDAQ 100 and see what this one is. All right, pretty much same picture. This one needs to close above 66.20, and if it can do it, well, it has regathered that momentum. It is not out of the question. It used to be 100 points was a real, game changer back in the day. But now, with the increase in volatility being back, 100 points is nothing. It can do that in a day easily. So 100 points away, no sweat. It's very, very doable in this market. All right, let's take a look at natural gas. Haven't looked at this one in a minute. All right. Well, last year we talked about how the market, could get back up to test that $4 mark. Well, it did it back on the week of December the 26th of 2016, got up to close to that $4 mark, but in 2017, it just could not do a repeat of that. It really struggled to get back up there. On the week of May the 8th, you got to about 343, well away from that. And so far, the week of January the 22nd of this year, this thing got up to 362. So it's looking like, a double top, if you will, a failed top. And you could say that the market is ripe to roll over. What do we have so far? We got the market back down in the twos. All right, so the $2 mark looks like it's falling off a cliff, gaining momentum to the downside. This market would need to close above 284 this week, and then that will put in a short-term bottom. So we'll see. Right now, though, it's looking extremely bearish. It's looking like the top is in, and I guess because we've been having some mild weather, I guess, and here you are in almost mid-February, or we might say mid-February, and spring is upon us. March is coming up, and March can do whatever. March can be cold, it can be hot, it can be whatever. It can snow in March, so we just don't know what we're going to get. They say it comes in like a lamb and goes out like a lion, so I don't know. Should we beware of the Ides of March? I don't know. It would take a miracle to turn this thing around, but it looks like this thing is going to drop further. It could get to that $1.95. I don't know. We'll see. It needs a story though, and right now you can see it went a long time just being consolidated from the week of May the 29th, 2017. It didn't break out of the cycle until pretty much now, until December the 11th of 2017. So that's a long time to be moving sideways, man. All right, so pretty much, at least half of the year last year, it just moved sideways and didn't do anything. So these markets, they can do that. The commodity markets can be in bottoming out phases for decades, believe it or not. All right, it can last years, not just months or weeks, but years. So commodities are just those rare things. You normally need some type of a story to push prices either way. Sort of like with the cocoa market. Anything jumps off on that Ivory Coast, if you have another military coup, seems like it has one every other month. You have something like that to affect cocoa prices, and then yeah, you'll have that momentum shift. Same thing in coffee. If you get a freeze during the coffee season, the planting season, whatever, you'll have that. Just different things affect different commodities, and natural gas is, it's not immune from all that. All right, so while we're on it, let's see. Let's go to gold. All right, staying with the commodities for a minute. All right, so gold lost momentum last week, and then now it's trying to regain that lost momentum this week. All right, so it needs to close above $13. I'm sorry, I said $13. Now, wouldn't that be something? Gold at $13? No, gold needs to close above $1,327.70 this week to put in a short-term bottom, from which the market can bounce from and get back up to around 1360. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one moves this week. Taking a look at silver. All right, silver gave up the ghost last week. That was the week 2, where it lost momentum and had further downside. This week, the market's looking like it's taking a break. Can it turn the tide here and turn bullish? Yeah, it can. What does it need to do? It needs to close above $16.71 this week, and it will be able to do it. If not, it's dangling over the cliff, and these recent lows back here of 1566 and 1563.5 is in play. All right, so this is going to be one to watch for sure. All right, let's take a look and see what the bonds are doing. All right, so the bond gave the ghost several weeks in a row. Last week was no different. And here we are now. We have a new low, 143.04. This one is in free fall status. It's still mad bearish. It's going to take a lot to turn the tide on this one. Yields will continue to be through the roof. as the bond prices are in a straight up bear market on the weekly chart. So let's see how TBT is doing, which is the inverse ETF to the bond. Whoa, nice run up last week. So far, we got an inside week forming, but I think it wants to blow. I think it wants to blow above 39 and close around maybe 39.50, maybe even $40 a share this week. Let's see how this one plays out. This is a nice one to watch, though. Very nice one to watch. All right, let's see. Oh, we didn't look at the Bitcoin futures. Let's take a look at that. All right, so the Bitcoin futures is trying to run, folks. Put that low in last week of 58.80. Now it's trying to make that the short-term bottom. If it can close above 9,766 bucks this week, Bitcoin futures will be on the rebound, and the initial target from there is 13,340, and then we got trendline resistance at 15,422. This one is definitely one to watch. Failure to regain this momentum this week opens up the door to a retest of that 58.80 next week. So, like I said, definitely one to watch. With that being said, GBTC should also be following the Bitcoin futures, and yes, it is. All right, what does it need to do? It needs to close above $15.93 this week, and this one should run. And the first initial target is going to be $32.65. So this one will be a whopper if it can do it. And we got mad rampage coming up here too in June, and that's going to be really, really good to see how it responds between now and then. So this one's looking like it wants to turn bullish. So it's going to be tracking that Bitcoin futures like it's been doing pretty well. BTCS. All right, this is the longer term hold. Let's see how it's working. All right, as you can see, it took it on the channel along with the Bitcoin futures. And now here we are. We're at the time where we got the mad rampage coming up. So this one is finding itself on the south side of the ramp. So the first thing we're looking for is an initial target on this one of around 30 cents. We'll put it right here. And the thin cloud, if it can cut through it like a hot knife through butter, the next target is 37 cents. Any way you slice it, 40 cents is going to be a really key area once the BTCS can get there. All right, so that's what I'm looking at right now. Strong base of support around 7 cents. We hope that will hold. You see here, we put it in here, we put it in here, acting as a very strong base. If this thing can go higher and close above 30 cents, then it does open that door for that run to 40 and maybe even 50. As far as the time frame, we're wide open as long as the market is north of the Kumo cloud. You got this vortex point coming around the week of April the 9th. It would be awesome if we could get above the Kumo cloud before then, but if not, right around that time, the closer the price action is to the bottom of that cloud, this vortex will suck it right up. So this is looking good for April to be north of the Kumo cloud. Definitely got our eyes on this one to see how this develops, but it's looking good. All right, so let's look at King Dollar. Now, I have seen all types of titles. I don't know if it's clickbait or do they really believe it, but a lot of people are calling for a collapse of the entire financial system in the month of February 2018. They're calling for a monster crash in the stock market in February 2018, basically Armageddon, February of 2018. I don't know where people get their predictions and these incredible claims, but remember, with incredible claims, you need to have incredible evidence, and I don't see any of that. Yeah, there's a lot of woulda, shoulda, coulda, and what ifs scenarios out there. I'm well aware of it. But I'm sticking with there is no collapse, folks. You would do well to watch that documentary on my YouTube channel, There Is No Collapse. And I think you'll find out exactly how precious this financial system is, and how the financial system as you know it is changing forever and metamorphosizing into something totally different. Now, watch There Is No Collapse and you will be educated to what's really going on. After you finish that documentary, watch the newer one, which is called The Fed versus the Blockchain. You need to watch that. That will explain further what's happening right now. Okay, so that you can understand what it is. Looking at this US dollar, it's been in a bearish market for a while and it has not changed. All right, they're walking a tightrope trying to keep this thing between 90 and 91 ish. So, bottom side is going to be around 89 and top side around 91 ish. But they really need to keep it around 90, 91 for Trump's policy to work. All right, so it's been doing it. All right. Yeah, it got low to 88.43 and then quickly bounced. People have been calling for the death of the dollar for a long time, not realizing that the dollar died a long time ago. Your purchasing power is like 10 cents. The dollar's worth like 10 cents. Come on, folks. You've been lost your purchasing power. What are you talking about? All right. So, like I said, trade what you see, not what you think. All right. Watch the markets and let the price action dictate what you should be doing. Don't try to guess. From the postwavetrading.com and learn how to do this properly. It should also be noted that on the mainstream business channels, mainstream media business channels, they've been trying to get the younger generation involved in the markets, telling them that they should be buying this correction, blah, blah, blah. And they've been pumping it really hard as of late. The reason that they're doing this is because they need more young people to come into the markets to help prop them up, okay? Because the what's the word I'm looking for? The senior citizens, all right, the baby boom generation and their parents, those who are up in age in their 60s, 70s, and above, they are coming out of the stock market because they need to maintain their wealth, not grow their wealth. All right. So they're the conservative bunch. They're leaving the workforce and retiring and taking money out of the market. So they need the young people to come in and prop this thing up. If the young people don't come in here and prop it up, then I don't know what to tell you. If that doesn't happen, I mean, someone has to come in and hold the bag. The Fed said, we ain't doing it. We unwinding our balance sheet. So there's your collapse scenario right there for you, okay? But even still, you got to understand that the powers that be are not going to let that happen. They're not going to let anything fool their plans of control. So you better believe they got to ace up the sleeve even for that scenario if the young people don't come into the market and prop it up. They've also been talking about other things, and I haven't had time to put together an expose on it, but just understand that there are things on the horizon. The mainstream media is starting to talk about and put it right in your face, things I've warned you about for a long time. Just keep your ears and eyes open, folks. And like I said, postwavetrading.com, come learn how to read the tea leaves and trade these algorithms and have the power of the pulse waves on your side. All right, turn the tables on the central banks. Learn what it is they don't want you to know. All right, there's some secrets they don't want you to know, and I will give you those secrets. Pulsewavetrading.com, and remember, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. Peace.